We are aware that broadcast media are seen by the extremists or terrorists as a tool, and that's why they do these things.
I work at the grassroots level, which means I see directly the impact that the types of coverages may have on young people's lives and on communities.
In many cases, the media basically fell into the trap of Daesh, and at the end of the day, they helped, the radicals in the ultimate goal of, attracting new people to the ranks.
There is still a huge problem with a kind of knee-jerk sensationalism, especially with rapid response online journalism.
The media is actually, for instance, choosing to publish certain images, to publish certain manifestos, for instance.
Great use of phrases such as a lone wolf. That's playing into their hands.
The word terrorism, for example, and how sometimes it's being conflated by certain narratives in the media with particular faith, particular communities, particular groups, has a long-term effect.
One of the ultimate goals of Daesh, which is a radical group, is just spread fear. And by spreading fear, they win. If we actually help them doing that, they're winning.
It may affect mental health of individuals, their perceptions of their place in society, their sense of belonging. So I think there's real life consequences.
As a former hostage, I think it's disgraceful the fact that that all the media have released the images of my colleagues, of my friends, on their knees wearing an orange jumpsuit. I think, for instance, it would be good that at universities, teachers would teach, prospective journalists that they would have to face these kinds of dilemmas when they work as journalists.
Organisations like Daesh are notorious for having, for some time, had almost professional standard media operations, creating content, trying to influence on social media. And we're seeing that kind of deliberate mediatisation of their actions.
Particularly the beheading videos or the burning of the Jordanian pilots. I think those videos are highly, highly problematic, and we should have never shown those images.
And our job as journalists is not to scare people. Our job is to reassure and reflect what is happening in the city.
Since I wrote a report back in 2016, which looked at how newsrooms are trying to cope with reporting on terror incidents, I think we've seen an evolution. In some ways, newsrooms are getting better at coping with, the speed of reacting and trying to build in more context and also a better sense of responsibility about the impact of how they report.
Best example is how New Zealand responded to the Christchurch attacks and not actually giving that oxygen and trying to cut off the effect of fear and panic that terrorists are looking for.
Not being too explicit, not being too upfront with some of the stuff that we were seeing, some of the stuff that we were hearing. We took a very layered, nuanced, contextualised view to what we put in front of the audience.
We are not here to do the work of the terrorists for them. So our job, our duty of care to the readers of the newspaper, to the community we serve, is to give accurate, verified information as the first port of call and to take responsibility